morning, everyone. What if I were to tell you that we are not in the month of October? You guys would be surprised, right? Well, it turns out that in Islam, there's a lunar calendar, and we are currently in the 12th month, which is known as Dhul Hijjah, which is the month of Hajj. And the reason I'm talking about this is because the most recent Hajj happened about 2 weeks ago. I'm sure you guys heard about it in the media, but I'm going to explain what the rituals of Hajj are. So I'm going to talk about a brief history of Hajj, my personal experience when I went, and also what the rituals are. So first of all, Hajj is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, which means that every single Muslim who has the money and the health to do so must embark on this journey. In an interview I had with Yusuf Scafi, who's an Islamic scholar, he said that 1430 years ago, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, embarked on his first and only Hajj, and there were about 100,000 of his companions that went with him. I went personally to Hajj in 2005, and we did the same exact rituals that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, did. The only difference was that there were 2 million pilgrims, 2.5 million pilgrims that went in 2005. And that's published by the Saudi government Central Department of Statistics and Information. They also published that in the recent Hajj, which was 2 weeks ago, there were 2 million pilgrims who went. And that doesn't include all the undocumented people who go to Hajj every year. So one of the stories that I have from when I went to Hajj, we were leaving an area known as, it's called Muzdalifah, and we were going back to our tents in a place called Mina, and that's about 2.5 miles away. It took us 4 hours to walk that 2.5 miles. They also have buses which transport the pilgrims, but the buses took 11 hours to go 2.5 miles, and that just shows how many people there are. There's 2.5 million people all walking in the same direction, going back to their tents, and it's amazing to experience that and be there and see that. Now I'm going to talk about the actual rituals of Hajj. So once a pilgrim has the intention that, I'm going to make Hajj this year, he has to buy 2 pieces of white clothing, and he wraps the first one over his shoulders and the second one around his legs. And then he travels to Mecca, which is in Saudi Arabia, and there he starts by performing Umrah. And what Umrah is, it's like a mini Hajj, and you circle the Kaaba 7 times, and then you run back and forth between 2 hills, which are right next to the Kaaba, and it's called Safa and Marwa, and you run through that 7 times. And the reason that Muslims do that is because there's a story of Abraham, where he left his wife in this area with their son, and the baby became thirsty, so the mother was running between these 2 hills looking for water and food, so that's why we do that. Once the pilgrim finishes this Umrah, he travels to Mina, where the tents are, and he spends the night there. The next morning, early, right after sunrise, they travel to another area which is about 10 kilometers away, and it's called Arafah, and there's like a small hill there, and all day long what the pilgrims are doing are just praying, asking God for things, and just reflecting on life and stuff. At sunset that day, they leave Arafah and they walk to Muzdalifah, and they spend the night there, and they pick pebbles that they're going to use the next day. So then the next day they wake up after Muzdalifah and they walk to Mina, which is the story that I told you guys took 4 hours. And once they reach Mina, there's like 3 pillars over there in Mina, and at each pillar they're supposed to throw these pebbles at the stone pillars, and these represent the devil, because in the story of Abraham, when he went to go slaughter his son, on his way to the place where he was going to slaughter, the devil is said to have appeared 3 times to try and stop him from doing that. So each time that the devil showed up, he would throw a rock at him to move him out of his way or whatever. So after the pilgrims finish throwing these pebbles at the pillars, they leave Mina and they go back to Mecca, where the Kaaba is, and they circle it 7 times again, and they're finally done with their Hajj. So they can take off that 2 pieces of clothing, and they wear normal clothes, they're finished. And so that's basically what the Hajj is. So now you guys have a brief history of why Muslims do Hajj. You guys have heard my personal story, and you guys know some of the rituals. So next year when it comes around, you guys will have an idea of what's going on, and you won't just be pictures on TV and whatnot. All right, thank you guys for listening. Hope you're